Hey everybody, I'm John at Collect Cards. Hope you're all doing well. It is Monday, October 28th, and I'm doing a VR here for Mark's Dodgers cards. And it's a VR I probably should have done before the Dodgers went up 2-0 in the World Series against my favorite team, the Yankees. But the series is shifted to the Bronx, so we'll see what happens in Game 3 coming up later tonight. But I wanted to get this VR to you here, Mark, where you asked us to share some of our favorite cards in our vintage collection that are $25 or less in terms of, I guess, what we paid for them. And so I'm going to do that here. I got 10 cards to show. I'm going to turn the phone around and yeah, let's look at some vintage baseball cards. All right, so I'm going to preface this little carousel of cards here by just saying that $25 mark, that's actually a great number to kind of target in terms of like asking for folks to show cards for like 25 or less. Because as you can see just from these two cards right here, I mean, that can truly run the gamut from pre-war even technically, even though it's 1939, it's pre-war. Um, all the way to late vintage, like in 1978, and just what you can find for that at that price point is like spans the full map, runs the gamut. Which so I think in that sense, like that's it's just a great number. So and I like the examples I pulled out here. I pulled these out actually the night before last night, and then so I've been looking at them again. I'm like, yeah, these are really good cards for $25 or less. So I'm excited to share these. Starting here with a 1939 play ball Leo DeRocher. Picked this up at the National this year. The dealer had it for 35 and I got it for 25. So I was pretty psyched about that. I mean, it looks really good from that point. You bring it up close. It does have a like a wrinkle kind of thing going across the whole card, but it's a really nice card. Another little crease right up there, but so this is a card I probably won't ever grade, even though I am a pretty big Leo DeRocher fan. I might, who knows, I might come around and slab this at some point, but I really enjoy having it right now in its present state for 25 bucks. And then here's this record breaker from 78 Topps Reggie Jackson. Figured I'd trot this one out, given it's the World Series, and the Yanks could use some heroics from a certain slugger, maybe, who might might have a double digit for a number, no less, just like Reggie did for the Yanks. But anyway, I got this card for less than 25 bucks, as I did for a lot of the cards, the vast majority of the cards that I picked up for. I completed the 78 Topps Hall of Fame run early this year. Started mid last year. It took me probably a little less than a year to do it. And they're all in sevens or eights for PSA. And the vast majority, again, were less than 25 bucks, including this one. I think this was between 20 and 25, if I had to guess. And if you counted tax and shipping, it might have maybe just broached 25, but it was right near there. Definitely the purchase price was less than that. And I wanted to just show another one from 78, since I said I did collect the Hall of Fame run. This is one of my favorite cards from that set. I absolutely love the Rod Carew card from this set. It's in a 7, and I got this card for less than 20 bucks. It's just such a great card. It's a little off center, sure, but I think the direction of his profile, almost like it kind of offsets the off-centeredness, right? Because they kind of cancel each other out in a way, just from like a eye appeal first glance. So I really like this card, and I might actually upgrade it someday. But just a great card. And this was coming off his career year MVP year. He batted 388 in 1977 with 100 RBIs no less too. What a year you had that year. So those are three cool examples of cards there I thought to start things off. And sometimes, speaking of years, there's 78. I got the vast majority of near mint or NMMTs for that price point, but just finding some really nice cards of some Hall of Famers from another year, like these three. I mean, look at these three cards. I got each of these cards. I'm in for 25 or less on all 3 of these cards. Yastrzemski was a Greg Morris buy. And I was surprised that getting this for, I think it was about $22 was the winning bid for that. The Rose I got at the National this year as well, and I got it for 25. Look at this card for a 2. I mean, this is about the best 2 you'll probably ever see. You have to look so hard at this to try to find the flaws in this card. I think there are a couple of small wrinkles, and I think that little dot right there, my guess is it's probably paper loss. If I had to guess, it's probably actual paper loss, and so maybe that's what's really kind of sets it back, even though it's just a speck. But gosh, I mean, look what you can find for a card for slabbed already, no less, in a recent grade, recent slab, I should say, $25. 68 Pete Rose that, gosh, looks a lot higher than a 2. And this Bob Gibson here, I picked this one up raw for $10. I remember the price I paid for this. I picked it up for $10 and slabbed it for 15. So, this is, from his best year, 1968, came back a 5. I am super, super happy having this card for $25. So, 3 nice examples from a classic vintage set that you can get for that really, really great price point. Such a flexible number, which I like. So here's, let's go 1 year higher from 68. Here's a card I got for, I think it was about 25, maybe it was just under $25. A 1969 Topps Gil Hodges. I am a manager collector to a degree, a decent degree. I like player managers, actually. I'm kind of got to focus on that a little bit lately. The DeRocher I showed at the start was actually a player manager card. Here's another player manager card that I just picked up recently. 1975 Topps Frank Robinson. Got it in what I think is a really nice PSA 6. I think this was actually a pretty tough grade. And I got this for literally like $12.50, I think the winning bid was. Thought this was a really nicely centered card, or a pretty nicely centered card. It's a touch left. A little bit of a fisheye there, but I just love this card. So to me, this is an important card, actually, from the middle of the decade. Very late playing career Frank Robinson, but this card and the Indians team card, which I don't have actually yet, and I do want to pick that one up because it actually states that Frank Robinson is the manager on that card on the bottom corner. So on the front here, it just mentions him as designated hitter. But on the back, it does recognize his name, the only player manager, Frank Robinson, as obviously at that time in 75. And he was also the first black manager in ALNL, Major League Baseball. So I think this is, and 75 was the first season he was at the helm. So to me, this is actually an important card in late vintage baseball. So I was really happy to add that to the collection. So we got 2 manager cards there. And then got 2 last cards here, and we'll call it a video. Thought I'd share this card. So I picked up this really nice 1980 Topps Nolan Ryan. This card actually, this card was in Mike Junkwack's Heroes Vermont collection buy. And he put a bunch up for auction after he got a bunch graded from PSA. And I'm on his, I get his newsletter every week. And I saw the list he was mentioning that he put up on eBay. And I think this one was the oldest card. So when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I know I don't have this in a slab. And, I probably cracked open a dozen of these in 1980. My brother and me ripping packs when we were kids. Out of all the years we ripped packs, I think 1980 was probably the year we ripped the most. We had a lot of 1980 cards. And so I'm well familiar with this card, but since I got back in the hobby 4 years ago, I didn't have it. And I think this is a great 7. So I got this for like $19.50. I think I won the auction for. So I was really, really psyched to add this card. Just came in last week. Yeah, so just you can get a nice Nolan Ryan near mint. Peak Nolan Ryan, or maybe, he's he's still in his peak. I mean, he had such a long peak, didn't he? And I'm actually a big fan of his Angels cards. I associate Nolan's greatness the most with the California Angels. So I am more of a Nolan Ryan. If I were to call myself a Nolan Ryan collector, like I could see myself doing his Angels run actually, and maybe someday I'll pick up his rookie card, or maybe his 69 or 70. Those are all cool cards too. But for the most part, I love his Angels cards, and so I might actually do a Nolan run for the Angels. So, and of course, he actually didn't pitch for California in '80. He already became a free agent with Houston that year. And I believe there is is it Burger King or Pepsi? There's a food run issue that Topps did, partnered with, where he is in an Astros uni 1980 design, which is actually a pretty cool card. Be a neat card to own as well, even though I am more into his Angel stuff. But that's I liked adding that one. And then one more card I'm going to show here. I've shown it before a couple times. You know, sometimes you can get an awesome card autographed by the player himself for way less than 25 bucks. I either got this, I'm all in on this as is for $10 or $15. Got this card raw on my LCS for $5, and I can't remember if Bobby Richardson signs for $5 or $10, but I just absolutely love this autograph. It's one of my favorite TTMs. So 1961 Topps that recognizes his, he even inscribed it, 1960 World Series MVP, put his uniform number on there, did those inscriptions for no extra charge. He just did it, which was awesome. Recognizes his feats in the 1960 World Series there. So I just absolutely love this card, and it's actually in pretty nice shape too. Even after he TTM'd it or signed it in the mail, sent it back, it was still pretty nice. So anyway, just thought I'd leave with that. We'll leave a Yankee card up there to wrap this up, and hopefully we can get some good vibes there. But for the Yankees anyway. Mark, good luck to your Dodgers as they continue to look fantastic this postseason. It's been a great playoffs either way, and enjoy the rest of the World Series, everyone. Thanks, Mark, for the opportunity for the VR, and I will catch you all in the next video. Take care. All right, so silly me, forgot to work in the 3-channel recommendations in the middle of this video, as I was hoping to do and planning to do, and then when you just get into a groove, you just find yourself talking through everything and you forget a key piece of your content. So I'm tacking this on at the end. Mark, here are 3 channel recommendations in case you aren't familiar with these YouTube content creators. I encourage you and everyone, if you aren't subscribed already, here are 3 channels that all have fewer than 300 subs. One is In the Beginning, Bob. I've had the chance to meet Bob at the last 2 Nationals and talk with him for a bit. He's a great guy, big Dodgers fan. So Mark, if you're not already subscribed to In the Beginning, highly recommend you check out his channel. I am gonna have links to all 3 channels in the description of this video. The second channel is called Collecting Nolan. So I should have worked in that channel when I was showing the Nolan Ryan card a minute or 2 ago. Russ is the content creator's name, and he doesn't have a ton of videos out there. I think he's been doing it for about 7 or 8 months, but I've watched a couple of his videos, recently subscribed, and I encourage you to check out his channel, Collecting Nolan. And the last channel that I'm going to recommend give a try to is called Vintage Card Nerd. It's a father-son channel. We got Ronnie and JB, and Ronnie, I believe, is the dad, JB's the son, and they don't have a whole lot of videos either, but they've put out like 2 or 3 in the last couple of months. So give them a try, Vintage Card Nerd. And that does it. All right, take care, everyone, again. See you on the next video.